Yeah, so hello everyone. Welcome to another interesting session of the Astro Cloud. So in the last class, we talked about Kuiper belt, right? We discussed about the Kuiper belt. So in today's session, we are going to discuss another interesting topic, that is the Oat Cloud, the edge of our solar system. So before we get into today's topic, let's look at the entire solar system in detail. So if you can see here, the solar system we call home has a sun at the center, followed by four rocky inner planets. There's a Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. And
then asteroid belt.
Yeah, and then we have this asteroid belt, which is followed by four gaseous outer planets, that are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And beyond the Neptune,
at last Kuiper belt will come.
Yeah, beyond the Neptune's orbit, we have the Kuiper belt. So after we look at this solar system in detail, a question arises in everyone's mind. That is, what's beyond the Kuiper belt? Or is Kuiper belt the edge of the solar system? We all get this question in our mind. So in today's session, we are going to learn what's beyond the Kuiper belt and what is the edge of our solar system. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let's see what's beyond the Kuiper belt. So, well, beyond the Kuiper belt, scientists believe there is another collection of billions of comets called as the Oat Cloud. So if you can see here in this picture, this is Neptune. So until Neptune, we call it as heliosphere. So that entire area is called as heliosphere. And beyond Neptune's orbit, we know that there is Kuiper belt, right? So beyond the Kuiper belt, this is the Oat Cloud. So scientists believe that this Oat Cloud is a collection of billions of comets, that is icy bodies and all the icy rocks and all of those things. Is this clear about the Oat Cloud?
Yes, sir.
So beyond so beyond the Kuiper belt, we have Oat Cloud. So in the previous session, we have discussed about the shape of Kuiper belt, right? The Kuiper belt is like a flattened donut shape, which is called as a toroid shape. So unlike the Kuiper belt, which is in the form of a toroid, the Oat Cloud is a giant spherical shell surrounding the sun, the planets, and the KBOs. So what are KBOs? Kuiper belt objects. So if you can see here in this picture, this is the sun at the center, and this is the Earth, which is orbiting the sun, and this is the entire planetary region here. This is the entire planetary region. So beyond the Neptune's orbit, here is the Kuiper belt, which is in the form of a flattened donut shape, or else known as toroid shape. And beyond the Kuiper belt, we have this Oat Cloud. So it is a giant spherical shell. Okay, and the Oat Cloud is a big bubble with thick walls around our solar system. See, this is the planetary region here. If you can see in the center, this is the sun and this is the planetary region. And someone is joining. Let's admit. Yeah, so this is the sun and this is a planetary region. And this is the Kuiper belt, which is in the form of donut shape, flattened donut shape. And this whole giant bubble-like thing with thick walls is the Oat Cloud. So see, millions and billions of comets are present in this Oat Cloud. So it looks like we are trapped inside the Oat Cloud. If we observe this picture, it looks like we are trapped inside the Oat Cloud. Yes. So just imagine like how vast the universe is. And we are just a tiny particle in this vast universe. Is it right? We are just a tiny particle in this entire universe. So now let's look at the parts of the Oat Cloud. So if you can see here in the previous slide, this is a giant bubble. So if you just cut this bubble into a small quarter, if you cut a small quarter of this giant bubble, we get this shape. So now let's look at the parts of the Oort cloud. So the Oort cloud is mainly made up of two parts, that is the inner cloud or Hills cloud. The inner cloud is also called as Hills cloud. And then the second part is the outer cloud. See here in this picture, this is the sun, this is the earth, and this is the entire planetary region. And here this one is the inner cloud and this is the outer cloud. So the shape of the inner cloud is like a disc. So the inner Oort cloud is shaped like a disc. And the outer Oort cloud is like a sphere. It is shaped like a sphere. Okay, so these are the parts of the Oort cloud, the inner cloud and the outer cloud. Now, so the Oort cloud is the most distant region of our solar system. It is the most distant region of our solar system. The distance from the sun to the Oort cloud is so enormous that it cannot be measured in common units like miles or kilometers. Like the distance between the sun and the Oort cloud is very large. If you can see here in this picture, this is the Kuiper belt surrounding the planetary system. And if we minimize this Kuiper belt, the bubble which is surrounding the Kuiper belt is the Oort cloud. So since the distance is very large, we cannot measure the distance in common units like kilometers or miles. We cannot measure with those units. So we use a special unit which is called as Astronomical Unit, AU. We call it as AU. So 1 AU is the distance between Earth and the Sun. So what is 1 astronomical unit? It is the distance between Earth and the Sun. Fine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's the distance between Earth and the Sun, 1 astronomical unit. So, see, observe the scale diagram of Oort cloud. This is the sun and this is the planetary region. We've already discussed this is the inner Oort cloud and this is the outer Oort cloud. So now let's look at the distance of the Oort cloud from the sun in terms of astronomical units. So the inner edge of the Oort cloud from the sun is more than 1000 astronomical units. So the distance from the inner Oort cloud to the sun is more than 1000 AU. And the distance from the outer Oort cloud to the sun may be 1 lakh AU itself. So see, it's the Oort cloud is very, very far away from the sun. Okay, so this distance is really like it's difficult to imagine because it's very far away, right? It's difficult to imagine. So now let's watch a small video to better to understand much better like how far the Oort cloud is from the sun. Okay, so now we have a small video which we're going to watch. It gives us a complete idea of how far the Oort cloud is from the sun. So I'm going to share that video with you now. Is it audible and visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
sir.
Yeah, so now watch this video, you will get a complete idea. Yeah, so did you watch that video?
Yes, Akka.
Yeah, so Oort Cloud is very far from the sun. So now let's continue our topic. Yeah, so we've discussed these points, right? The inner edge of the Oort cloud from the sun is more than 1000 AU and the outer edge may be 1 lakh AU. So now, what is the Oort cloud made of? We were discussing about Oort clouds and all those things. So now, let's see what is the Oort cloud made of. So the Oort cloud is made up of hundreds of billions and even trillions of icy bodies with sizes of mountains and sometimes even larger. See, imagine in this picture, these objects are represented as tiny dots. But just imagine in that whole universe and space, the icy bodies are in the sizes of mountains, it seems. Mountains or sometimes even larger in size than mountains. And they keep floating. So this is where some of the comets also come from. So some of the comets, which is the icy bodies with the tail, they also come from this Oort cloud. So if you can see, each and every icy body, I mean each and every object in this Oort cloud has its own orbit. They keep on revolving around its own, they have its own orbit and they keep on revolving in that orbit. But sometimes due to some disturbance in any one of the orbit, that object falls into the orbit of another object. And it begins a long fall towards the sun. Then that object comes towards the sun. It falls towards the sun. Okay, so whenever there is a disturbance in the orbit, so those objects fall towards the sun. So two recent examples. So now let's look at the Oort cloud comets. We've discussed, right? Some comets also come from the Oort clouds. So now let's see two recent examples of the comets. If you can see in the left side here, in 2012, S1 comet. The name of the comet is S1. And in 2013, we have a comet called, in 2013, we have a comet called A1 Siding Spring. The name of the comet is A1 Siding Spring. So the S1 comet, it got disintegrated, it seems. Disintegrated means it got broken down into smaller pieces or smaller fragments. Why? Because when it passed too close to the sun. So this S1 comet passed very close to the sun. So it got disintegrated. But whereas the Siding Spring comet, it passed by Mars. Planet Mars is there, right? So it passed by Mars and it survived its visit. It didn't get disintegrated. It didn't get broken up. But it survived its visit when it passed by Mars. And it also visited the inner solar system. This Siding Spring visited the inner solar system. Okay? And it is believed that the scientists have calculated and found out that this Siding Spring comet will not return back for about 7,40,000 years, it seems. For 7,40,000 years, it will be staying in the Mars orbit only. Okay, it will not return back to the Oort cloud. It will stay in the Mars orbit only for 7,40,000 years. So this S1 comet, this 2012, this S1 comet is called as the comet of the century. Why? Like, what's so special about it? Let's see. The specialty is that this S1 comet traveled very close to the sun, nearly 14 times closer to the sun than we are. We usually think that we are close to the sun, right? But this comet traveled nearly 14 times closer to the sun than we are. It traveled very close to the sun. So it's called as the comet of the century. And at that time, the entire globe was able to see it. The entire globe was able to see that S1 comet when it came like very close to the sun. Okay, did you all understand?
Yes, Akka.
Yeah.
Yes,
Next.
Akka.
Yeah. So far, we've been talking about Oat Cloud and all the various related facts and information related to Oat Cloud. But now let's see who is the person behind Oat Cloud, or who discovered the Oat Cloud. Let's see. Not many people have their names displayed in lights. Even fewer have the heavenly objects named after them. So one of those select few was a Dutch astronomer, Jan Hendrik Oort. His name is Jan Hendrik Oort. He's a Dutch astronomer. So by the time of his death at the age of 92, Professor Oort was recognized as one of the greatest astronomers of the 20th century. Both as an observer and as a theorist, Oort revolutionized astronomy through his groundbreaking discoveries. So he gave many groundbreaking discoveries. So one such astonishing discovery was the existence of a vast cloud of perhaps 1 lakh comets. So he gave a theory that there exists a vast cloud of perhaps 1 lakh comets. So then in his honor, so that vast cloud was named after him as Oat Cloud. That is how Oat Cloud got its name. Did you all understand?
Yeah, Akka. Understood.
Yes, Akka.
Yeah. Next one. So here, there is a mission called as Voyager mission. The Voyager 1 mission. So let's see what's the specialty of that Voyager 1 mission and the information related to it. So the goal of this Voyager 1 mission is to extend the exploration of the solar system beyond the outer planet. It's mainly intended to explore beyond the outer planets and also to find out how long the sun's influence is in the solar system. So that's the main goal of Voyager 1 spacecraft. So this Voyager 1 spacecraft, if it actually there will be a time period for each spacecraft, right? So for this Voyager 1 spacecraft, the time period is until 2040. Until 2040, it keeps on working, but after that it will end. Its working will end and it will die. So in case, it's just an assumption, for example, if the Voyager 1 spacecraft continues to move like that in the space, then it will take 300 years to reach the inner layer of Oort Cloud.
When did they launch Voyager 1?
Voyager 1 was launched long back. It was launched long back, but it's just, it has its lifespan until 2040. So it has a lifespan until 2040, but if it continues to move, then it will take 300 years to reach the inner layer of Oort Cloud. So the Voyager 1 spacecraft took 35 years to leave the sun's magnetic influence, and it is traveling at a speed of 1 million miles each day. Just imagine 1 million miles each day. It means it is traveling with a very great speed. But even with that speed, it will take 300 years to reach the inner layer of Oort Cloud. And then it will take 30,000 years to get through it all. So Oort Cloud is that thick. So did you get to know how thick is the Oort Cloud? It's very thick. The Oort Cloud is very thick. And it is very far away also from the sun. It's very far away from the sun. Did you all understand about the Oort Cloud?
Yes, Akka.
Okay.
Yes, Akka.
Yeah. So now we have a small rhyme or a small song to understand about the Oort Cloud much better. So let's listen to that song. I'm going to share my screen and present that song. Let's see. Is it visible and audible?
Yes, Akka.
Yes,
Okay.
Akka.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what the Oort Cloud is?
It's a really big space bubble, kids.
Can you tell us how the Oort Cloud works?
Just a second, here comes the first verse. Oort Cloud, strange little name, we're not sure it's even there, which is just as strange as a theory of a really big cloud that surrounds our solar system all the way around like a space bubble, made of rocks and ice. Some of the comets that you see come from it.
That's nice.
It's way beyond what we call the heliosphere. That means the sun and all the planets are nowhere near. The Oort Cloud is a bubble in space that our solar system lives inside. At least that's what the scientists tell us, but nobody really knows if they're right.
Can you tell us what the Oort Cloud is?
It's a really big space bubble, kids.
Can you tell us how the Oort Cloud works?
Just a second, here comes the second verse. Jan Oort of astronomy fame came up with the idea of the cloud.
It's the name!
He was also the first one to state that the Milky Way rotates.
And that's great!
The Oort cloud is made of two parts, an inner disk and an outer sphere, both really far away, in a place called interstellar space. Even though it's not confirmed, it's the theory of the day.
Double O-R-T Cloud, we know what it is and we know how it works
It's
now.
a space bubble.
Double O-R-T Cloud,
It's a
we
space
know what
bubble.
it is and we know how it works
It's a
now.
bubble in
Double
space.
O-R-T Cloud,
It's a
we
space
know what
bubble.
it is and we know how it works now.
It's a space bubble.
Double O-R-T Cloud,
It's a
we
space
know what it
bubble.
is. It's a big space bubble.
Okay, so that's the rhyme. Did you enjoy it?
Yes, Akka.
Did you all enjoy the rhyme?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So now what I want all of you to do is that each one of you should give me a point that you have learned in today's session about the Oot Cloud. Any one
Akka,
point.
can I tell?
Akka,
Yeah.
Oat Cloud.
Akka,
Oat
One
Cloud
by one.
surrounds the
One by
solar
one.
system.
Oort Cloud is made by millions of rocky, means icy bodies.
The Oat
Okay,
Cloud.
one by one should tell.
The Oort Cloud
Yeah, I'll
is
give chance. 1 minute wait. 1 minute wait. Raise your hands who want to give a point. I'll ask them. Okay. One by one should answer. Okay, Vaishnavi, give your point. Vaishnavi, unmute and give
Akka,
your
it
point.
surrounds the solar system like a big bubble.
Okay. Okay. Next, Sahana, give your point.
The Oat Cloud contains inner clouds and outer clouds.
Yeah, okay. Next, Mahesh, give your point.
Akka. Oort Cloud is made up of millions of icy bodies.
Okay, okay, fine. Next, Sarvani, give your point.
Oat cloud consists of two parts. The inner cloud is also known as the
Okay. Okay, fine. Next, Liba, give your point.
Oat cloud is most distant region of our solar system.
Okay. Next, Pranav, give your point.
The Oat cloud was discovered by the German scientist Jan Oort.
Okay. Next, Hasini, give your point.
The distance of inner outer cloud from sun is 1000 AU and outer root cloud is 1 lakh AU.
Okay, fine. Next, Vaishnavi. Vaishnavi, do you have any point to give? Vaishnav, Sarvani, any point?
The distance between the sun and the earth is measured by 1 astronomical unit.
Yeah, okay.
Akka,
Okay. Yeah.
Akka, to know about Oat Cloud, they sent a mission Voyager 1. It
Yeah,
takes
okay.
300 years to reach the Oat Cloud.
Yeah. Yeah, inner root cloud. Okay, fine. Yeah, so I hope all of you have understood today's session about the Oat cloud, okay, which is the
Yes,
edge
sir.
of a solar system. Yeah, so
It lies beyond the Kuiper belt.
yeah, that's right. It lies beyond the Kuiper belt. Okay. Okay, so any more doubts before we wind up today's session?
No.
No, Akka.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess that's the end of our session. Thank you all for joining. You can all leave.
Okay, Akka. Bye.
Thank
Akka.
you.
Thank you, Akka.
Yeah,
Thank you, Akka. Bye, Akka.
yeah, thank you. Bye.